Hey guys, it's me Morten and I'm finally back with another mouse review. Today we'll be taking a look at the TEEVOLUTION TERRA Pro, which is a copy of the legendary G703. First of all, formalities out of the way. My hands are 18 by 11 centimeters. I use a pincer claw grip style, either really aggressive on the fingers or relaxed. And I have never actually used a G703 or a G403 before. So it is worth noting that this product here has a lot of novelty associated with it because it is a unique ergo shape compared to the ocean of easy clones that are out there. Now, before we get into the review itself, I will be doing a quick sound test of all the buttons. Now, because there are so many good things to say about it, I think we should start off with the goods, as they primarily pertain to the mouse itself. First of all, the shape is extremely unique and is a very, very nice change of pace from the otherwise, well, kind of beaten to death horse that is the EC clone shape. Even though the EC clone shape itself isn't actually a clone, but more of a clone of the Microsoft IntelliMouse. But that's a completely longer story. But basically, the primary difference is that it has less of a sticky outie bit right here on the right hip, whereas on EC clones, that is much more pronounced, as well as the hump itself being a back hump rather than a mid hump. And the hump itself kind of feels a little bit more super lighty as well. So that's also something to take into account. If you're really into the G Pro Superlight, you will feel right at home with this hump as well, because it just fills out the palm and the way that I want to grip it perfectly in the exact same way that the Superlight does. And I have no clue what magic they used, but it does. Second of all, as you can see, the side buttons are massive. Absolutely meaty, gigantic. This is also true to the original copy, whereas the X3 from Pulsar has, something that looks a little bit closer to the Superlight, where it's like small, kind of flimsy looking side buttons. Now, the other thing is this can use either local software or a web-based driver, which is fantastic. Personally, I feel that the clicks here are very, very good. And honestly, this is about as close as you can get to mechanical switches, like the feeling and the sound, if you ask me, even though they are actually just opticals. And I believe that it is partially how they designed the mouse internally and the switches themselves. The scroll click is very medium tension, I'd say, in terms of your spammability on it, and it's very easy to spam, unlike a Skyrox V8 or a Skyrox V6, where it's actually impossible. And the scroll itself is a little on the lighter side. And the scroll wheel itself is technically rubberized and textured, but not really. And you are able to accidentally limbo jump on this scroll wheel, even if you don't mean to. Like, I am applying basically no pressure whatsoever from my finger, and the scroll wheel is just letting me run it a couple of times. So that's something you should be aware of if you're playing Apex Legends, and if you're not, well, then it probably doesn't bother you. But specifically for Apex or something else, this could be a deal breaker for you. The battery life on it is also very good. I've been able to squeeze maximum 5 days out of it before I needed to charge it. That being at 1600 dpi and 2 kHz, like I do with every other mouse. And it is worth noting that the dongle is very unique and cool. The special edition RapidSync dongle that I have in the box for right here. It comes with an LCD display, which shows you things like your polling rate, DPI, what profile you're on, if you have motion sync enabled, and all these nice to know things at a glance. And now we get into the bad. For one, it should be noted that the side button, the back side button, has a lot of play and is like worryingly easy to push in here, far beyond the shell, which I'm not sure if this is a factory default, like a factory defect thing, or if this side button is just a little loose and a little wobbly like this. But that is something to take into account as well if you use size buttons. I personally really don't use them, but that's something to be aware of. And I did earlier mention that my critique with the product itself primarily lies with the dongle. You can technically speaking purchase the mouse without the dongle, but I feel like when you're using a product like this, you probably should get the dongle to go along with it so you can get the most out of the product. But the dongle to me feels absolutely half-baked, and I am unreasonably upset about it because it has so much potential, but they really trip at the finish line. For one, if you don't want to have the software running, the local software running, when your mouse goes to sleep, the dongle doesn't know what time and date is. Unlike if you have the software installed, there's a button on the side where you can adjust the brightness and whatnot on the dongle, which is fine. But the dongle doesn't save that setting. And furthermore, as you can see, the LCD display is not aligned correctly and it is off center. And that bothers me a lot. And I think that that's a fair thing to levy against them. I don't program. I have no clue what I'm talking about here, but I feel like if you can connect it with the web-based driver, I'm sure you can make a phone home command that asks what the local time zone is, what time it is at the current time that you connect the dongle to the web driver, and you can flash it to that memory. You can already flash every other setting to the memory of the dongle, so why not that? That's a genuine question. You can do literally anything else, but not that. And last but not least, they advertise a grippy coating, an ultra grippy coating. But, and this might just be a localized area type thing, but here in Denmark, we are in winter. And so much like with the GPX, when this is cold, the coating kind of feels just like a bar of soap in my hand. It's slippery and it falls out unless I death grip it. Now, the second my hands warm up just a slight amount, they stick and they don't go anywhere. And I need to use significant amount of resistance to move my fingers, which is good. So technically speaking, your mileage may vary on that one, but it is worth to note that. Now, for the conclusion, I think the mouse here is a very good product. My personal grievances with the dongle aside, which I still think should be fixed, and I definitely will be taking away points away from it because of that. I think that overall this is a very good product and competently put together. You get a bunch of extra stuff in the box, like extra skates, and you get grip tape. So if you live in a climate where you're worried about the coating, I would just put those on and call it a day. I haven't used them myself, but overall, I would wager that it's going to be fine. My personal grievances, also with the scroll wheel aside, even though I don't play as much Apex as I used to, I can see how it would be an issue. And to me, if you have, let's say, medium hands or large hands, this is a warm, easy recommend. Very good for claw grip and palm grip. I would not use this for fingertip grip because the ergo mice have a tendency where the palm or the hump gets in the way of your palm meat. But if you're someone looking for either a new experience with an ergo, or you know that you like the G703 but have been waiting for a competent re-release, or holding your breath waiting for Logitech to actually re-release it, I would say you should purchase this, dongle or not.